Right away, I've got to say zMightys, okay? This is the youngest player on the squad, and honestly, he's got a lot to prove here. He placed top 8 in the free-for-all at Kansas City, but what can he do on fours is the question. Fours is a completely different game. You've got to have a different set of skills. You've got to have a different skill set. Can zMightys step up to the plate, being one of the newer members of NaVi?
zMightys, one of the most aggressive players that we have so far in Europe, but also in this league. Gonna be excited to watch him. I'm gonna be excited to watch LethuL as well as we switch gears over towards Frosty. You pointed out zMightys. If I'm gonna talk about a player that's aggressive, that wins his shot, that wins his battles, that's able to apply pressure to enemy team, I'm looking at this man, Frosty, who just went down.
Yeah, Frosty's an incredible slayer. Honestly, I think he's one of the best slayers in the game, and it comes down to his ability to control the power weapons. But the player on our screen right here is going to be Snakey. This is the newest member of this squad. Can he come to play here? Can he make sure that he's able to play his role in an efficient way?
And our Sentinels hiding over with Arcade. It's Frosty, high IQ, high pressure, ends up getting easy kill. And now you're seeing 3 down for NaVi right there. I was in trouble. There's no way you can allow Frosty to sit in Arcade, get the flank, and wipe you. That's really bad for NaVi.
Yeah, and it comes down to this right here, right? They've got the very first hill. That's going to be huge for Sentinels because now they have information on the spawns of NaVi. Going 4 dead is not what you want to do on KotH Streets. It's really easy to predict those spawns, and Sentinels did just that. But look at the answer back. 3 down for Sen.
NaVi able to bounce back. Like you said, putting Sentinels 3 down, the key is now what do you do with it? You have to control those spawns. You have to keep Sentinels as far away as possible. And now they're trying to break in. So far, the game is really close, but NaVi have control, and NaVi have the setup.
You got to be careful, though. Rockets coming up in 28 seconds here. The next couple kills are going to be important. They're going to give you that map control and set you up for these rockets coming up.
Kimbo right to the tire side using those rockets as bait, able to put LethuL down, and now you're going to steal the Bulldog because of it. 3 down goes Sentinels. Rockets should be in the hands of NaVi, and they know what to do with it.
That's 2 times the Sentinels have gone 3 down, but look at the factor here in Frosty. Taking that top control of C, has the Stalker in hand, but that's a big kill from Kimbo now. Breaks the momentum in half. All of Sentinels are in mid-map, but look at LethuL. He's supposed to be the anchor player, Tony, and he's pushing up aggressively, getting the double kill there. Beautiful job by LethuL.
LethuL right in the action, not from long range. Instead, he wants to get up close and personal, and because of that, steals those rockets. NaVi, watch your head. LethuL's looking to take it off.
I'm paying attention to LethuL right now. The player, the question for this Sentinels roster. But look at the assists he's got on his team. 6 assists already, only 4 deaths. A very slow start in terms of deaths. He's playing his life really well. If he can continue to support that way, Sentinels is looking at a victory here really early. But you talked about it before. Sentinels start off really slow, and it's showing in the scoreboard right now. NaVi are keeping up.
O-Star coming from Sentinels. But it's only a matter before the snake puts his fangs in you. SnakeBite coming in quick with the Sentinel beam. zMightys now trying to push up, but zMightys might have bit off a little bit more than he can chew. And now NaVi are going to go 3 down because of zMightys ends up having to get out of dodge. Sentinels have now overwhelmed the B side, and of course Frosty icing out, making sure that no man is left behind.
zMightys had a good play there. No man was left behind, but he was left behind because he pushed up aggressively, trying to get that flank play for his squad. That first dead on the other team, on the team of Sentinels, is huge for NaVi. So zMightys, unfortunately, a little bit out of position. They go 3 down once again, and now it looks like Sentinels is going to take control of this hill.
Pushing in. Sentinels have the control that you're looking for, but now LethuL's going to block out this line of sight over toward the B side. We see NaVi trying to break out of Subway. They want to take the strong side, but LethuL's already in their face. He's always in charge of controlling the spawns, controlling the rotations. So even though he goes down, the pressure was put, but LethuL ends up going down. The information is in. Of course, LethuL, he knows what to do with that intel. The silent assassin, sometimes barking.
Honestly, Sentinels now, they've gotten NaVi 3 dead now 3 times in a row, but they haven't been able to convert on any hill time here. This first hill is a big feel out period. You're able to feel each other out, kind of figure the play styles out in a sense, and Sentinels is doing just that. They're outslaying NaVi in this second half of this first hill, and it's showing in the scoreboard.
Half the members of NaVi are on the blast screen, the other half are trying to find some kind of hole in the defense of Sentinels, which might not exist. Sentinels are holding down every single inch on the map, and LethuL hits the black screen. SnakeBite gonna go down as well. NaVi have not only successfully spawned up and applied pressure, but now they're thriving, and all of Sentinels gonna be forced on respawn from here.
That was a big 4 dead there for NaVi. It was 3 dead because Royal 2 came up, but look at him once again on the anchor position on top C. All of Sentinels is stuck on this C-tram side, and honestly, Jimbo's doing a great job right now. He's the wall of defense that just gave NaVi their very first cap in this game.
Stalker rifle in the hands of Kimbo. We have NaVi so far with the 1-0 lead, but it's Sentinels that have already rotated, controlling the subway side of the map. Kimbo trying to put in that initial damage to open up the map and then the push up. The Bulldog might help with that.
Yeah, Bulldog is huge here. The fact that Kimbo has this, he's going to be able to utilize it on a kill, but a great trade right there by Frosty. The power weapon king. He's got Stalker rifle, he's got Bulldog, and look at that. He's got a beautiful flank as well. He's got to get it, but zMightys is there. The great individual skill from the FFA Phenom.
But now Frosty goes down on NaVi's side of the map. He gets a chance to spawn up and almost gets a second chance at life now, spawning over toward the subway side. Look at the pressure coming in, and obviously that pressure's in. You have 17 kills, only have died 8 times, 3 assists to go along with it. Frosty absolutely having a game. Now the question is, will that translate to the scoreboard? You're still down by 1 cap.
Yeah, I mean, 1 minute and 34 seconds remaining. Sentinels haven't been able to put a cap on the board just yet, but with the Rockets coming up, they need a break right here. They need a couple of slays, and look at that. Royal 2 able to get the very first one, and you've got to take care of the Stalker player up top. That's going to be Rockets for Sentinels, and potentially this first hill for them on their scoreboard.
It's the slowest King of the Hill Streets game I've ever seen in my life. It's King of the slow pokes out here right now. Like you said, 1 minute 22 seconds on the clock. And we talk about often when it comes to Streets, when it goes down to that middle hill, these players will play the shot clock. They will play the time. At this case, we won't even see a hill number 4. This might end legitimately in a 2-1 game.
We got to talk about that new overtime rule, right? If it comes down to a tie game in caps, we go to 2 minutes in overtime. That's potentially the storyline we're looking at right here. Unless someone from Sentinels can make a big play, though, they've got to make sure they get a cap on the board at least, and LethuL is the man to do it. But the great trade once again by zMightys.
Jimbo now coming in with the Bulldog. Excellent damage, but can't find the kill. Frosty now taking the back subway side, and Frosty's going to be eliminated. SnakeBite tries to come up to pick up the pieces. He's able to do so with the nade, and now you're seeing Sentinels start to take control here. Shots are going to scare them away. A couple of warning shots letting them know that this subway is ours.
Yeah, it looks like Kimbo's playing that backside right now. You see him all the way on the B rails. He's going to be that cross-shot player. It looks like all of Sentinels have spawned on that purple side, but they make it through. And this is what makes Sentinels so good. They have that incredible timing right now. And you talked about Frosty earlier being a huge impact. 21 and 12 on his scoreline.
Timing is key, and as of right now, Sentinels are starting off well. They are finally heating back up. NaVi may have had the lead, but it might be no more. But hold on, what just happened? Sentinels go 3 down. NaVi are claiming control right away. They have only a sliver left the time needed to take that hill and tie things up, and NaVi wiped them out.
If NaVi gets this hill, it'll be 2-0. It won't go to an overtime as well. This is a very big hill for them. They're about to cap it. No one in position. 2-0 with only 47 seconds remaining.
NaVi, this is your opportunity. Forget about the hill at this point in time. Now your job is just to keep Sentinels out. You're talking about 43 seconds left in regulation, and time is ticking by. Of course, it's Frosty that's able to get away with the rocket launcher, daring anybody to push over towards the B Street. Sentinels, if they don't play perfect Halo, they're going down 0-1 in the series.
If there's any team, Tony, that can play perfect Halo, it is Sentinels. We've seen it time and time again. When their backs are up against the wall, the sleeping giant arises. Will it happen now is the question.
It's David versus Goliath right now, and David just got stomped out. Another 4 down. NaVi end up going down, and Sentinels gaining control once again. zMightys tries to find the exit point. The only thing he's gonna find is the exit door. If he doesn't be careful, death right off the spawn. Frosty coming in with the double. He's not done. Trying to line up the triple kill. Has no more rockets to work with. Frosty will end up going down, but the information is coming, and so is Royal 2.
3 dead once again for NaVi. A hill on the board for Sen, and look at that. In that hill, they only gave up 5 seconds on the counter. We're at 42 seconds remaining, and they're already 25% of the way through the next hill.
This is the weirdest King of the Hill Streets game I've never seen it. We're gonna have to watch the VOD after this, but once again, Sentinel find himself 3 down again. We said they needed to play perfect Halo. Time dwindling down once again, 35 seconds and counting. NaVi are just trying to keep Sentinels out of the hill. Forget the scoreboard. Forget going forward. This is about time, and Sentinels are running out of it.
Now listen, we talked about zMightys, the FFA player, right? The FFA phenom, 13 and 16. Maybe he's being too aggressive here. He's been caught out of position a couple times. Positioning's a big factor in fours, and honestly, his aggression is good. But if you're too aggressive, you add another death to the scoreboard. That's 13 and 17 for zMightys, but Sentinels are just playing perfect Halo right now. But look at the clock, 9 seconds remaining. Sentinels have to make a move.
Sentinels back in the hill, but Sentinels once again going 3 down. 8 seconds on the clock here. We're seeing SnakeBite trying to dominate the cafe side. He has the Stalker rifle in hand. This is a pivotal battle. SnakeBite ends up going down. Time is going to dwindle just a little bit, but multiple members of Sentinels have flooded into the hill, and NaVi don't have any numbers. 3 down goes Sentinels. NaVi are coming. LethuL, you're the last player. Can you buy time? 3, 2, SnakeBite cuts in.
That was a great play by LethuL. He jumps up right there, puts his head down. We talked about it. HCS tweeted about this. It's called strong siding. Putting your head down, making sure that your headshot hitbox is not large. And look at that. They get 2 caps on the board. Sentinels tie it up. And now we're going to overtime. 2 minutes remaining in this game.
And this is the 4th hill, the Hill of Death, the hardest hill to capture in Halo Infinite. At this point, lots of teams that play with the lead will simply play the shot clock, but down to a 2-minute overtime we go. The next cap may just take the game.
The next cap will take the game, but honestly, it comes down to that bottom tram control. If you can control bottom tram and be that anchor, or top tram like LethuL's doing right now, you can put a lot of pressure across the map. That's exactly what Sentinels need, and look at that. That's exactly what they're doing, but look at zMightys. Being very aggressive here on the backside of A.
NaVi trying to find a way to alleviate the pressure, and they're able to do so. They find the kills that they're looking for. All 4 members of Sentinels go down. This should be valuable time being earned by NaVi here. Jimbo clearing out that subway side, which you said is so important, and they got A side control as well.
They got the 2 slays they needed. That middle hill can be very difficult to get, especially when you have Jimbo on top of C with a Stalker rifle. We talked about the importance of this weapon before. It's so very strong. Look at that, 2 shots, and right away, all 2 shields are gone.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. Told me Sentinels were the Kansas City land champions, and I told you that they started off slow. And as of right now, NaVi have sped up the tempo. This is their time. If there's any chance to pull off an upset, it's right here in full play. zMightys absolutely dominating, claiming control of the A side. Sentinels go 3 down. NaVi, this is your time.
There's a reason why NaVi looks so good, Tony. They've been boot camping since September 9th. They've been putting in the work. And look at that. What a beautiful job right there by NaVi to take that very first game. That's going to give them a lot of momentum coming up in this series.
I'm about to call you out. Tell me you know I love you, my brother. You know I love you.
Yeah, I love it too, Tony.
Did you call it a 3-0 sweep?
I did. I did. I did.
Yeah. You said 3-0 NaVi, right?
I was, no, I said 3-0 Sentinels.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sentinels.
All right. How's that working out for you?
It's not working out very good because NaVi just clutched it up. What an incredibly close game right there. We didn't expect to see a game that close coming against, like we said, the Kansas City champions. Like I said, NaVi, September 9th, they've been boot camping since. That's a long time to prepare for this event. These guys want it bad.
And it shows. We just took a king of the hill on one of the best teams on land. Some might argue the best team. NaVi looking good right now. And I love that you pointed out zMightys. The man is young. The boy is young. I shouldn't say man. Can he order a drink right now? I can't take him out to a drink. Let's bring the stats on screen, but zMightys, I'm going to tell you, he's able to open up the map for his team. I don't even care about the stats and numbers when it comes to zMightys. My eyeball test tells me his aggressive playstyle opens up the game for his team. Even if he goes negative, I don't think his teammates find success if it's not with zMightys playing as aggressive as he does.
We've got to look at the other side of the scoreboard as well. Frosty 28 and 22, having another great game in terms of slays. Frosty's always kind of performing in the way that you expect him to. But yes, zMightys constantly, time and time again, opening up the map. You watching this next game, he's going to be constantly the one that's over-aggressing, getting that initial pick, maybe a trade, but it still gives him his team the opportunity to push up and get that positioning.
I love that we're looking at the stats. I don't care about the stats. You saw what I do with stats. I do with papers.
I did see.
When I'm judging Sentinels, I don't care who's the leading slayer. Lots of times it's Frosty, sometimes it's Royal 2, sometimes they. When it comes to Sentinels, I got the chance to sit down with Royal One. He tells me all the time, any player can fill any role. It's about winning. If Frosty has to have a pop-off game, he'll do it. If SnakeBite does with his aggressive playstyle, getting to the face of his opponents, it'll happen. I don't care about the stats when it comes to Sentinels. I care about the wins. And as of right now, you're 0-1.
We'll take a look at the series layout real quick. Game number 2 is going to be Recharge Slayer. And honestly, this is a map we've seen Sentinels do some work, right? We had LethuL, and one of my favorite plays in Halo Infinite, when Formal had the sword, being able to check Formal for pretty much the rest of the tournament based off that one shock rifle kill. We know LethuL is strong with a shock rifle. They've got to keep, NaVi have got to keep that shock rifle out of Sentinel's hands, because pretty much like you said, anyone is capable of filling that role of a Slayer, and it can get really scary if they leave the power weapons in Sentinel's hands.
This is an interesting game type and map combination. You have Sentinels in Kansas City, 3-0, undefeated. What about NaVi? 2-0. NaVi didn't have the best Kansas City run, but they still ran undefeated when it comes to Slayer on Recharge, so I'm really excited to see both of these teams go at it. NaVi up 1-0 in the series.
Honestly, the big thing for me here is paying attention to the here and now. And NaVi winning that very first game of the series, I'm telling you right now, the mental, the incredible confidence that you get from winning in a series against the best, one of the best teams in the world, really will carry on momentum into that next game. The question is Sentinels going to be in position to shut that momentum down? And the answer for me is going to be yes. Sentinels don't want to lose this series, so right now is their chance to make a statement.
Tim, there's no time for questions anymore. Game number 2 is up. Now it's time for answers. Will Sentinels answer back? Or will NaVi be able to go up 2-0 in the series? I said there's no time for questions, and I asked the question. I'm sorry, Tim, I'm sorry.
You can ask me as many questions as you want. The question to me right now is, honestly, can Sentinels break this momentum at this point? NaVi is going to be feeling really good, but it's all about these first couple plays right here. It's about shutting down these plays, making sure you make a statement early, but oh my goodness, the SnakeBite goes down instantly, and right now, NaVi have numbers, and they're going to push on it, but zMightys caught out of position.
LethuL, clearing out this gold side of the map. You talk about it all the time. Having a player on this glass, controlling the spawns, raining down shots on anybody trying to cross. You talk about how important this is time and time again. How's LethuL doing?
She's doing great. He's pretty much playing the role of LethuL, but doing it really well. You see LethuL and SnakeBite here on the A side. They're going to be safe. No one's going to be able to cross with LethuL there. But then they send Jimbo to break the setup in half. If Jimbo can get this kill on top glass, this is a very different push for NaVi.
Man, push for NaVi, trying to push over toward that glass side. Jimbo having a bit of help. It's his responsibility to put down that early damage to bait and switch. LethuL, making sure he gets an off angle over towards that bottom A side, and we're gonna find out if anybody is able to break through. Finally, it's Kimbo that tries to push forward. Snakey's gonna get behind him. 3 down goes Sentinels. NaVi's able to break the setup that Sentinels had on lock. NaVi are playing championship Halo right now.
That was an incredible break by NaVi. They get that single kill, and they push off of aggression. Every single player of Sentinels was caught off staggered, and once again, they're starting to stagger the spawns as well. We've got a tie game already.
Snakey was able to get away with that shock rifle despite all of this happening around him. So now he's gonna try to collapse as a player isolated onto the C side. NaVi didn't know about it, but now they do. You absolutely turn on him, give him the business. Snakey is back.
Snakey, the newest member of NaVi. This is the biggest organization he's ever been on. This is his time to prove himself, and he's doing just that with a 3-1 scoreline.
Nades starting to fly. Frosty might have did a bit of damage onto LethuL, but the wipe comes in, and half of NaVi ends up down. Frosty now says, get over here to that camo, grappling up to that high ground, and NaVi have no idea where he is.
Frosty's going to be real sneaky here. They're not going to know where he is, and he's going to take advantage of that. He's going to use this camo to break setups. That shock rifle was dropped. That means it comes up in 15 seconds. A very short timer on such an important power weapon. But can Sentinels utilize that to extend this lead? They've gotten a lead by 6 already. Look at this break. The beautiful shots, but Snakey with a clutch kill. That was a huge trade.
Frosty breaking down the defenses of NaVi, but there was one player that emerged with that battle, and it was Snakey. But LethuL comes out of nowhere with the shock rifle, able to find himself onto one. Kimbo and SnakeBite, they're gonna dance a little bit. SnakeBite, the master of the tango, comes out on top, and we have a 7-kill lead in favor of Sentinels.
We talked about IGL, right? And we got to look at SnakeBite right here. This is one of the IGLs of this squad. They've kind of had a hybrid with SnakeBite and Frosty, kind of splitting that IGL role. But going 7-3 while being the IGL is such an incredible feat in and of itself. Sentinels have taken the lead 20-14, but NaVi are starting to come back. They found a break, and now they're looking for the entrance to come get these kills.
Royal1, the coach of Sentinels, often talks about SnakeBite and his aggressive play style. He's the playmaker. It's his job to open up the map for his team. He talks about it time and time again. Now he has the shock rifle, but it looks like they found the antidote. SnakeBite ends up going down. Sentinels might be a bit in trouble.
Talked about zMightys being the X factor for NaVi. I've got to bring up his scoreline here. It's very difficult to play that aggressive play style when there's cross shots, when there's angles that these Sentinel players are holding. How do you get by? How do you cross when you get shot from multiple angles? zMightys having a hard time. Gets another death right there. He's got to play slow and make sure he pushes with his team.
Sentinels starting to pull away with the lead. Royal2 popping heads off. That's one perfect and feeding the intel. Now you're seeing Sentinels start to get aggressive. zMightys is caught a bit out of position. Royal2 gonna try to make him pay. Luckily, he's able to back down and stay alive. Royal2 still manning the shock rifle, looking for some heads.
That was zMightys right there in that last play, looking for an opening, right? The timing was off, but he plays his life, which is the most important thing. He plays his life long enough for his teammate Snakey to get the trade. They're not able to get all the trades, and that's 3 dead for NaVi, and it looks like Sentinels are starting to slay out 31-24. This is where the game really matters.
This is where the game starts. Oftentimes, Slayer don't start till somebody hits that 30-point mark, and we are here, and so is Royal2. He's staring down the barrel, 3 different players, somehow able to isolate one, takes one down, but NaVi put the double push in. 3 down goes Sentinels. The same way that Sentinels can punish NaVi, NaVi can do the same.
Once again, pay attention. zMightys was the first one to go down in that push, but look what they got off of it. Sentinels go 3 down. They start to come back in this lead, but Sentinels still has A control. They're about to take A control, and they still have this commanding lead. NaVi's got to make a break happen once again.
35-28 lead going in favor of Sentinels right now. They're still holding onto it, but NaVi continue to find slays left and right. LethuL forced to now slow things down back to that anchor position they talk about, which is so important. They're controlling the gold side. Sentinels, they want to close things out.
A 6-kill game. LethuL, once again, in his favorite spot so far on this map, but he's getting pushed from multiple angles. The break comes out from NaVi again. Sentinels go 2 down. A 5-kill game, now we're down 2. NaVi starting to gain some momentum. And honestly, I thought all was lost. After they won that game 1, that momentum was high. They started to lose it, but they're regaining, which is very important.
NaVi coming in quick. They're still starting to gain a bit of that control, and when now camouflage coming up, this is the most important camo of the game. Maybe NaVi, with that momentum that you talked about, can grab a hold, maybe steal the lead. Maybe Snakey comes right in you and breaks down the defenses, just trying to get an angle on camouflage, but Snakey's not gonna let it happen. It's Snakey versus SnakeBite. Only one Snake can survive.
That was such a big kill right there. NaVi do get that camo, but I believe they did get the trade. Snakey put himself on the line right there. That's the trust you've got to have in your teammates. Snakey is able to get that kill onto SnakeBite to make sure that they get that camo, but now LethuL has the shock rifle in his favorite spot on the map, and Kimbo goes down. He wants a second, but he's not going to hit the shot. 42-38. NaVi are trying to make a push and take this lead back, but it's up to LethuL to stop that from happening.
Electrifying plays coming out of LethuL, immediately taking height with the repulse, landing right on a grenade, but looks like Sentinels are still able to clear out NaVi. So despite the fact that NaVi have done a good job of clawing their way back into it, Sentinels keep them back with a stiff arm. NFL Sunday.
Stiff arms hurt a lot, and it would really hurt NaVi to give this game to Sentinels and have this series be tied at 1. It's a 5-kill game once again. Look at the assist column. The free-for-all player. The Slayer on NaVi. 6, 10, and 8. Putting the damage in, getting those assists, but unfortunately not able to make the plays necessary for NaVi to catch up here, and now there's only 3 kills remaining.
Just 3 kills needed. And of course, you put the shock rifle and the iciest man on the team. The assist does end up coming in as NaVi find himself between a rock and a hard place, and that rock rolling downhill is going to be Sentinels, and now it's turning into a mountain. The pressure too much. NaVi go down.
What an incredible job by Sentinels. They started off really slow once again in that game number 2, but they made sure to clutch it up so that they could tie the series 1-1. Sentinels, we talked about them starting slow, but I'm going to tell you something about Sentinels. They don't finish slow. They make sure to finish. They make sure to get those W's.
One thing I'm still impressed with, NaVi were never completely outside of that game. Time and time again, we saw Sentinels go 3 down. We saw them actually get squad wiped, and NaVi was starting to gain control. My thing with NaVi and that Slayer recharge is, what do you do with those Slays? Why? You have to find a way to punish Sentinels. When Sentinels start spawning over toward the C side, you got to block those lines of sight. When Sentinels start spawning over toward the gold side, you have to block that line of sight. Why give Sentinels an inch when you know they'll take a mile?
And honestly, they were doing a good job of that in the beginning of this game. NaVi were getting that 1 kill, zMightys being that front player, and they're pushing off that, getting that numbers advantage, and obviously positioning as well. They did such a good job of that in the beginning of the game. But when you're up against Sentinels, Sentinels just keep pushing back on you, and every mistake you make is going to set you back in the game. Sentinels make sure to capitalize on every mistake, and they did it here in game number 2. The question to me is NaVi going to be able to come back in game number 3? We've got LiveFire, Oddball up next. Maybe LiveFire is one of Sentinels' weaker game types, I would say. Is NaVi going to be able to take advantage of that and potentially get the series lead?
And not only do you say that LiveFire is one of their weaker game types, the stats say it as well. It's oftentimes that Sentinels will find themselves going, what, 0-2 on Stronghold's LiveFire? Going, what, maybe 1-2 on Slayer LiveFire? This is not what you want to see out of your championship roster. So again, I look at you, NaVi. It's your time to shine. You have to strike when your victim is at the weakest. So Snakey knows about it. He's a snake. He gonna put them fangs on you. You got to come after. You have to come after Sentinels. You need to win this swing game.
The big factor for me is going to be Frosty. That sniper rifle ends up in his hands. We know what he can do with it, and we've talked about Frosty before. He's got different levels to him, right? He starts off, he's better than all of us right away, at his lowest, but then when he's playing his best, that's where things get a little bit scary. If that sniper's in his hands, he's going to make sure to utilize that, especially without that drop weapon. His heat wave's not as important, commando's not as important. We'll see if Frosty can take control of that.
Frosty is better than most of us on his worst day.
Right.
But they ain't saying he must be better than you. I'm just saying, you play on mouse and keyboard. Hey. You look confused out here on the map.
I love mouse and keyboard, though.
Yeah.
It's great,
And I love you, and that's why I'm telling you. You need to hit your shots. You need to pick up a controller. I don't know what you're doing. The Oddball LiveFire going to be game number 3. Round-based system. Both of these teams going to try to give it their all. Sentinels, again, your Kansas City land champions. But I will say to NaVi, this means so much.
It does.
You've seen Ascend and Quadrant ascend to another level. When we're talking about European Halo, we're talking about Ascend. We're talking about Quadrant. Oftentimes, NaVi gets forgotten about. But it wasn't too long ago that NaVi always performed on land. It's time for them to do it again. What a win it would be. I'm just saying, if you were able to take down the Kansas City champions.
The only problem to me is that first game win, which is very important against Sentinels. All that momentum is gone. There's none of that left. You've honestly come to a point where you kept that second game close, which is good, right? But when you're talking about Sentinels, they are going to take advantage. That first game win for them means momentum just goes forward, and it's just not going to be stopped. It's a train at that point. So NaVi have a lot on their shoulders right now, but I agree with you. This win would mean a ton to them, and they could potentially ride that out to finish the series.
I have the chance to sit down with Dan and Scherzi, and they often will talk about how Sentinels and even Optic now, they're showing respect to the European region. Let's be honest, not so long ago, they were getting stepped over. They weren't even, they were light years ahead, but now we're talking about the NaVis. Now we're talking about the Quadrants and the Sens, and them really being competitive with North America. Are they ready to win a LAN tournament? That's not my place to say, but what I am saying is that they're now in the conversation of making the top 6s. Even on their best day, maybe getting a top 4 and pulling off some upsets. This game number 3, they're looking to do just that. They're looking for an upset. You come over here on LiveFire, Oddball, NaVi need to emerge victorious. Otherwise, this series might just be over.
Once again, it's very important to talk about that. The European teams. I've been under 2 decades of Halo. I've watched teams come and go. Never have we seen the European teams be as respected as they are right now. And I think that's just incredible for the Halo scene, and it's incredible to speak on the competitive nature of Halo Infinite, and we're gonna see it once again here. Can NaVi answer back after that last game loss?
They talked about zMightys being your player to watch out for. I'm gonna keep my eyes on him, but you already know my eyes stay on LethuL. The man really has been playing almost newly motivated. The way he's been playing good, winning Halo, but he's the objective mastermind, and we got to see him really step it up here in Oddball.
Right, the OS is coming up, and Frosty's now got that and the weapon I talked about in that sniper rifle. Honestly, this is where the game is going to be turned on its head. Already, Sentinels are at 20 seconds of ball time. But with Frosty, with his sniper rifle and this overshield combo, and then the flank from A, this is going to look out of control here very shortly.
Frosty in World 2 pulling off the collapse onto NaVi, but it looks like 2 members do end up going down for Sentinels. NaVi trying to gain control. Meanwhile, that ball ends up off the map, still a 23-0 run in favor of Sentinels. NaVi have a turn.
They got a wipe, though. NaVi just got 3 kills, which is going to be huge for them. They're going to have control of A now, and they're going to have control of this ball as well. But look how fast Sentinels collapse on their spawns.
Speed the Sentinels play with. They're able to up the tempo on the dime, and that's exactly what you see Sentinels do as they try to break the A-side setup. It's up to NaVi to plant their feet in the sand. They have to put the defense up, and that's what they do. Sentinels go 3 down. SnakeBite now having to rotate out, and that's valuable time now going in the hands of NaVi.
You know what? I agree. Valuable time, but guess who's in it? It's in the hands of zMightys, the FFA phenom. You gotta love a player that's able to do it all. He's able to slay out when necessary, but also able to play that objective. That shows for a good player.
NaVi struck first. They struck blood. Able to go up 1-0. Sentinels then able to answer back in that game number 2. And now we want to see if Sentinels can ride that momentum here. Another battle ensues, but zMightys ends up going down. Doesn't have the heat wave to contest with. It looks like Sentinels might have been able to get away with even more resources. NaVi get wiped. Sentinels make them pay.
That 4 dead is going to be huge. Sentinels have a very strong setup on that tower. And now NaVi, it's up to them to break, but guess who's behind the lines? It's going to be Frosty looking for a flank. The awareness is good out of Jimbo, but it's not enough. Frosty's on a killing spree.
Frosty finding the angle into the backside of NaVi, the blind side, and he's not done. Falling from the skies, able to take height. That's a good trade coming out of Kimbo right there, but it's still Sentinels that have that ball. They're working on the rotation right into the spawners of NaVi.
Sentinels are doing a great job of rotating this ball, though, Tony. That's the big thing right here, right? You saw the NaVi push down the bottom of the map. Sentinels rotated back to A. Now they've got the ball in A once again, and they're able to rotate off the pressure from NaVi. That shows a very good team. Sentinels have incredible chemistry, being the longest-lasting team in HCS.
Look at that communication and that coordination. Will it be too much for NaVi to respond here? So far, NaVi been able to keep it close, but Sentinels want to widen the gap, and of course, it's Frosty that gets away with the sniper.
We talked about Frosty, 11-3 already in this game. Now he's got the sniper once again. The plays he can make out of this are huge.
1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4. Frosty's looking for some more. Watch out, NaVi. Your head's in trouble. Frosty connects with the BR. Tower side now being defended well by Sentinels. That's the opportunity for Sentinels now to rotate that ball in. Sentinels already having the lead, but it might just widen. NaVi, how will you break it?
Well, you have LethuL on the B side. He's playing that anchor role. The anchor is playing the aggressive role. They're able to do what they're able to do to make sure that this push doesn't happen. But unfortunately, 3 dead for Sentinels. And with 3 dead, I want to go into a listen-in and see what the comms sound like.
On it, weak, Kimbo's weak cuts.
Where's Ovi?
Dummy doors.
Out of Ovi, he's dummy door, out of Ovi. He's dummy door, out of Ovi. He's with cuts on you. That's Ovi guy.
They're all one hit, literally all one hit. I don't know.
He went dummy door still.
Dummy door.
Still dummy door.
In top mid on me. Might push me codes.
Alright, you wanna go across top mid? Okay, I'm going right, bro.
I can go bottom mid.
I'm nading cuts, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go.
On him tower? Yeah, he's top.
I can challenge the tower guy.
Trying to.
Ball guys be Snakey. Ball guys
I
be
can't-
Snakey.
Killer's A plant.
Okay, I can't look tower anymore, bro.
He's elbow, bad. Bottom tower. I got him.
I'm coming A plasma.
Yep.
Yeah, one's garage. A-pot, Kimbo. I got one.
Ball Ball guy weak. Ball guy dead.
Play ball, play ball.
I'm going to new ball.
Alright, new ball, guys. New ball. They're gonna be dummies. They're gonna be dummies. I'm here.
Communication and coordination clearly on point for Sentinels. However, it was NaVi able to claw the way back into it, only down by 20 points. NaVi are very much in this, and this is still round number 1. We do see LethuL rotating that ball away. We see SnakeBite going into battle, able to trade out his life. Sentinels now have to drop the ball and slow.
You said NaVi are very much still in this, but I want to point something out. Everyone talks about scrims. Everyone talks about the difference between online and LAN. NaVi have lost their scrims 3-10, okay? Out of 13 scrims, they've only won 3 of them recently. But look at what they're doing here on LAN. They're showing up. This game is still very close. Looks like Sentinels finally have a very, very comfortable lead, and they're going to extend that with 3 dead from NaVi.
I was a little worried where you're going on there, man. I was gonna say, I'm trying to hype up NaVi out here bringing the scrims that you scared me. You brought it back. I'm happy. Frosty might have to come back off a respawn. Ends up going down. LethuL now trying to make waves here. Drop wall comes down early, so do the nades, clearing out and denying access from NaVi to try to push up onto the cut side. Once these slays go in, Sentinels are in position of grabbing that ball, but first comes OS.
That OS pickup was huge. Snakey was the only one in position. Sentinels got the kills, and that's what it's about. It's about getting those kills on the timing of getting those power-ups. That's when you can swing the game, and it looks like Sentinels are looking to close out this first round.
NaVi able to shred the shields of that OS, but LethuL still able to remain alive and still picking up the pieces that Sentinels are leaving behind. Mighty, get back! You don't know him like that, LethuL. Able to clear out a route for Sentinels to rotate the ball in 3, 2, 1. Sentinels 1 round away from taking game 3.
What a great rotation once again by Sentinels. That's something I'm seeing time and time again. They've got the in-game awareness to realize where the pressure's coming from. The communication comes out, and they're able to rotate that ball. Sentinels, I think, have the best communication in the game, and we heard that in the comms earlier.
That communication is translating into the wins department. It's NaVi now playing off their back foot, even though NaVi were the ones who took game number 1. Now it's them off the back wall, but clearly they know what they're doing. You back a NaVi against the corner, you get the claws and you get the heat wave, and you also get to look at the black screen for a little bit.
Unfortunately, NaVi is looking at the black screen. We talked about timing on these power-ups. Look at right now, Kimbo has to stay alive from Frosty. He's not able to, but 2 go down right as the OS comes up. That's not what you want to see from NaVi.
Mighty trying to get in position here, but he's running into a 1v2. Sadly, there's not much you can do when you're by yourself. And NaVi were not in position, and simply Sentinels were. They earned that overshield. They've earned this ball time, and NaVi needs to earn the break.
Again, ZMightys is coming from free-for-all. As a competitive free-for-all player in my day, my biggest problem was playing too aggressive. ZMightys is doing that, but guess whose job it is to reel him back? It's going to be the IGL and Kimbo. He's got to make sure to slow ZMightys down just a bit, and also Snakey, who's having a little bit of a rough game as well. But they're starting to get the ball now, making something happen.
Love that SnakeBite was able to get that double kill despite his team being 3 down. That's going to neutralize the situation a little bit, stabilize Sentinels just a bit. NaVi on screen. ZMightys, the free-for-all prodigy, dropping nades left and right, but taking a bit of damage, has to take the 1v1, able to get the pin. ZMightys ends up finding himself 1, even finds a nade onto LethuL, slows him down a bit, but Sentinels are still running, and he might be able to get the ball as well.
NaVi have to find some momentum here, but it's going to come down to taking that player at the top tower off. LethuL on top tower is a very scary thing, but that's their first point of contention. Jimbo does just that, but LethuL is going to get the snipe on a Jimbo as he falls off the map.
Snakey gets away with the heat wave. 3 seconds up until overshield comes out, and NaVi, they have to make sure Sentinels have no lines of sight. Snakey knows where the pressure's coming from. Great awareness out of him, stopping SnakeBite. The overshield does not get popped, but it's still NaVi in position. That drop wall will not defend you from the heat wave coming in. LethuL now might have to play this ball soon. NaVi creating the break. What a rotation.
Again, the rotation. NaVi have every single power weapon, which Sentinels did not have in the very first, Sentinels did have, I'm sorry, in the very first round of this game. Now NaVi are starting to take control of it, and now Snakey's on a killing spree. I want to hear what NaVi sound like in the comms with going against the best communication team in HCS. I want to hear how NaVi stack up.
Yeah, Frosty will watch a cut as well. Frosty will watch a cut.
Not team cuts. Okay, team cuts.
Smoke this ball, bring a tower.
I'm gonna have to go for momentum, guys.
Bottom mid weak, Frosty. I traded.
Go see.
Yeah. One shot again.
leave.
Playing top mid, playing top mid.
There's me dummies, I think, boys.
One's up and out, boys. One's up and
One
out.
shot tape out.
Bring a B, bring the ball.
And with sniper cuts. Come on, walking up cuts. Walking up cuts, sniper cuts.
I'm behind me, I don't know if I can play
Yeah,
this, probably.
yep.
I can't play, I can't play. My game is shit, this guy. This game's shit. People this now.
One all here. Let's make sure we...
Wait, 2 on ball, 1 sniping training.
Yeah, just make it to tower, boys. Make it to tower.
Okay.
Gotta heal wave.
Just lean. Going to C-side, yeah?
There's gonna be a
Yeah, I'm gonna go big door, Arkel.
Yeah. I'll tell.
Big door weak, big door. Watch your back B, watch your back B. Trust me.
Low.
Dead.
I'm pushing these lanes.
Sniper.
2B, I'm going new ball. You guys got him.
I got 2.
Actually, your ball. Can you
Bring
pick
out
B?
pillars, bring out pillars.
20 seconds away.
I'm going to stay ceiling. Don't worry about this.
Someone watch
Take
my
ball
big
off
door.
me.
Someone
No,
watch my big
just
door.
keep it, Liam. Keep it.
Someone watch my big door.
Yeah, big.
Grenade.
I'm holding tower. A plat now.
Only can.
2 A plat.
I
I'm
hear
one
that.
shot tower. Play a lot of time.
Just watch my big. Just watch my big.
On me, ball. You shot ball dead. I remember.
Okay, keep him a good time. I was full, bro.
NaVi doing a great job of not only calling out, communicating where Sentinels are coming from, but also the small talk, making sure they're actively listening and making sure they're always communicating that thought process. I love NaVi's communication so far, and so far they have a 46-33 lead.
You said it right there, Tony. Honestly, NaVi's communication, that small talk's so very important against the best small talking team in the game in Sentinels. NaVi are stacking up because of that communication, and they've got the lead, but looks like Sentinels are going to take it back.
Sentinels, you can never count them out. You also can't count out SnakeBite controlling the sandbag side, but looks like SnakeBite ends up going down, but so do 3 members of Sentinels. That forces Frosty to play the ball right outside of the map. NaVi should have first eyes on it, though.
But Kimbo has that sniper. How is he going to utilize that to give his team control here? The ball's still at the bottom center of the map, but a great shot on the SnakeBite. This is Kimbo's job right here. He's the IGL, but he's also able to put so much damage. But look at that. Sentinels stay alive and they rotate the ball again.
Not only the IGL, but also the leading slayer is Kimbo. 20 kills, only has died 19 times. 5 assists to go along with it as he gets blackjack with his 21st. Kimbo now pushing heavy over toward the A side. Sentinels feel the pressure coming in. They play the ball, but so much time coming in. This once was a 4-point game in favor of NaVi. NaVi haven't put up a single point. Meanwhile, Sentinels are getting closer to that 100-point mark.
That comes down to Sentinels' in-game awareness. They're able to rotate that ball off of pressure, and they're doing a great job of that, especially here in round number 2. We'll see if they're able to close out this round here shortly.
402 gets himself the slay, but gets stuck. Sentinels now get wiped. Mighty's the only player alive on the map, having clear sights on that ball, but what's more important right now is the overshield. Forced to drop the ball, fighting for the OS, grabs it, steals it away, pops it on his chest before going down. NaVi stealing away the OS, and Mighty now stealing that ball. 3 down go NaVi. Not what you want to see. What can he do?
Honestly, we've got to see some big plays from Mighty's. I talked to Wonderboy, and he had said Mighty's gets hype, and that hype can drive momentum. He's got the overshield. He's gotten 2 kills. What a great job by him. 2 dead for Sentinels. Let's see if they can convert on some time.
Mighty seemingly shutting down Sentinels by himself with the help of the overshield, of course, and buys them time for NaVi now to get back into the play, but it's not just enough to get in position. You got to win your fights, and it's really hard to do against the Kansas City land champions.
Roll 2, you notice he didn't go for the ball right there right away. He's that anchor player. He wants to get his teammates to spawn here on A. Jimbo's going to push too aggressively here. Jimbo ends up going down, and so does ZMightys. That's going to be 2 dead for each squad. These next couple kills are important.
3 down goes Sentinels. NaVi trying to get in position once again, trying to make them pay. They need to be a little bit more objective, efficient. Finally, Kimbo finds that ball, and NaVi find the A side setup they're looking for. Sentinels sending 2 over toward the bottom side, 2 up top, but 2 get dropped. Sentinels already losing numbers. NaVi defending this A side. This is their final stance.
And Roll 2 looking to find a chink in the armor here. NaVi take the lead, but Roll 2 has to go for the back line. What a great job by him to go for that back line. There's no pressure on Big Door. He finds an opening, gets the first kill, and now he's looking for more, and he gets another.
And he's not done. Finally, World 2 ends up being taken down, but the damage has been done. NaVi ends up going 3. Sentinels now moving in control. Just 6 seconds left. Can Sentinels grab a hold of this ball? Frosty now going in for the rotation. LethuL able to steal it. You have 2 seconds to work with. He ends up going down. So do multiple members of Sentinels. NaVi have tied it up.
Wow, and it comes down to those clutch plays from zMightys with that overshield, right? He was able to open up the spawns on A. He got NaVi that spawn, and they were able to force a setup off of that, and Sentinels just weren't able to break it in time, and that comes down to NaVi winning that round and tying this series, or this game up.
Of course, we have a swing game 3. And of course, we're going into a round 3. It's one round to take it all, and Royal 2 is about to take your face. How do you let this man get away with the S7 sniper rifle? How is that not in the playbook? Keep the sniper out of Royal 2's hand.
And it's one thing to give them the sniper, but that OS is coming up as well, and NaVi don't want to give up another power-up. They're going to go for it right here. They do one down. That's 3 dead for Sentinels. This is a huge play, and zMightys with a big kill and the perfect on a SnakeBite. They're going to have OS control.
Your player of the game, able to secure not only the ball, but the overshield for NaVi. You have the resources, you have the positioning. NaVi are playing better than I've seen them play in a very long time, and I'm here for it.
And I've got to repeat it, right? 3 and 10 in scrims, but when it comes to LAN, when it comes to the tournament that qualifies you for Worlds, there's no one that's going to play better. NaVi coming out strong, and they get 2 dead once again for Sentinels.
The one thing I love what NaVi are doing right now, they're not allowing Sentinels to set the pace in this game. They're controlling the pace. They're playing on their orders, on their dime. It's Sentinels that are having to react. They are not bowing down. They do not fear the Kansas City LAN champions.
They don't fear them, and something that I've noticed in this game, Tony, and in, of course, round number 3, is that NaVi are adapting to the rotation Sentinels are putting out. Sentinels will rotate the ball, NaVi will be in a position to stop them on the other end, and that's what's giving them a potential chance to win this game.
Frosty now gonna try to hold down this tower side, but the nades are gonna be too much. SnakeBite forced to play the ball off the map. Overshield obviously coming up here, and Sentinels, they want to get control. NaVi find themselves 3 down. You can't go 3 down when that overshoot is coming up.
Yeah, I've talked about it before. Timing is so very essential, but NaVi do get those spawns onto A, so there's going to be a fight for OS right now. If NaVi can get this OS, it'll be huge, and again, the kills have to come along with it, but 3 go down.
Sentinels gain control. Switching gears over towards Royal 2. He already finds the spawners. Look at this perfect halo. Already having reticles trained on you the moment you go up. We have Royal 2. 37 kills, largely because he knows exactly where NaVi are pushing from.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you had said that Royal 1 had mentioned to you, Sentinels are able to play whatever role necessary to win the game, and it looks like Royal 2 has taken that Slayer role this game.
NaVi being welcomed to the big leagues. Royal 2 going for a bit of a swim. It's all good. Hey, it's getting sweaty in here. I'm getting sweaty. I'm not even in the game.
I'm getting sweaty too. Someone else who's sweating is Frosty. He's got another power weapon in his hands. We talked about him on the Sentinels roster being the power weapon master. So efficient at utilizing these power weapons, and he's really cutting into NaVi with this heat wave. And if he gets his sniper, it's going to be scary.
Normally the man to ice up. Now it's Frosty bringing the heat wave and the sniper rifle combination. Frosty looking to put it to domes of NaVi, a little rat in its corner. He's going to get exterminated. Are you a snake or are you a rat? Are you a hunter or are you prey?
You know what? Sentinels are the hunters here. They're looking to close this game out right now. 59 seconds on the board. And Frosty with a sniper. I talked about this at the beginning of the series. The power weapon master put in the work. 3 dead, make that 4 once again for NaVi.
Still have 5 shots left in that sniper rifle. Needs to find himself a battle rifle. Picks up himself a NaVi 1. He's set tripping right now as Frosty looking to set up a play here. There's 3 members over toward the A side. Ends up taking out a dome of 1. Almost able to take down the second, but the mighty 1 is able to strip away the sniper rifle. LethuL able to play the ball. But look at the scoreboard. Look at the damage. Look at carnage.
Incredible damage is being done by Sentinels, and it's just because, like I said, they have another level to them, and they're bringing out that level here for NaVi. They're showing NaVi the respect. They're making sure to close out this game, and 20 seconds is all that remains. But Mighty, the FFA phenom, carrying the ball, trying to rotate it to his team.
So what you're saying is, there's levels to this.
There is.
And Sentinels are showing that they are not on the same level as NaVi. In fact, they're looking to put them down here. I wouldn't be surprised if NaVi don't win a single game. The way Sentinels are taking control finally, it's Snakey that played that ball off the map. The melee will come in, looking to clear out Sentinels, but they still have a mountain to climb. You're still down by quite a bit.
They are, but honestly, this is possible. for NaVi. They've already won one round this series. They know it's possible, but it's going to come down to these breaks. Jimbo's in a great position. If he takes out SnakeBite here, unfortunately he does not, but the break comes from Big Door, not able to stop it.
Sure, it's possible. It's possible for me to go pro. It's possible for me to bring up Sentinels. I'm asking what's probable. And as of right now, Sentinels still have control. World 2 now has the ball. 10 points remaining. NaVi, where are you?
This is all they need right now. NaVi not in a position. The player to watch at this moment in time is Jimbo, and he goes right off the map. 3 seconds is all they need, and Sentinels are looking to close this out. It's still possible, but you're right. It's not probable in this situation.
What is probable is that Frosty might end up making a play with the repulse, or he might not need to. The shots obviously connecting the strafe, not gonna be enough to slow down Frosty. NaVi find himself with the ball once again. They also find themselves with World 2 hunting them down, barking and hunting. Is World 2 once again. NaVi lose track of the ball. That means they lose track of the game.
Sentinels once again win another clutch one, up 2-1, but I've got to talk about how much of a fight NaVi's been able to put up in this series. They look really strong. Based on the scrims, which is pretty much all we have with all the roster changes that have happened, I didn't think they were going to look this strong coming in this tournament, but they look good. Now, the question is, can they tie this series up? After that first game win, their momentum is gone, like I said. Can they regain that to potentially win this next game and tie the series?
I mean, let's be honest, we knew this was going to be tough. But we also didn't know NaVi were going to play as well as they did. I've been thoroughly impressed with NaVi. Even the matches that they're losing, they're still so into it. We're talking about 1 or 2 mistakes, and NaVi could be the one that are up 2-1 so far in this series. NaVi has nothing to hang their hat low about so far. I mean, one more game, and you go to a game 5, and at that point, it's about who wants it more.
That's right. You can tell the NaVi wants it. And I got to point out zMightys again. The player is always that #1 entry fragger, we call it, right? He gets that initial kill. And he was pushing pretty well with Snakey at the end there. But when you got a Frosty with a sniper rifle, that's just going to pop your teammate's head. What do? You end up in a 2v1 situation, and then you end up getting wiped. And NaVi, they just got to fix a couple of things, a little bit of positioning errors. Once they fix that, if they can fix that in this next game, we definitely can go to a game number 5. I thought this was going to be a 3-0, Tony. I was completely wrong.
NaVi showing that they're still one of the top teams in Europe. I said it before. Ascendant Quadrant, they get all of the love. NaVi are sitting here like, how are you not talking about us? Have you not bought our skins? They look fly.
They do look good.
You know, if you look good, you play good. I'm just saying.
That's my belief. Yeah.
This pool may not be as dominant in favor of Sentinels as we thought, because if NaVi are playing this well, I know G2 are going to come out with that fire. Pool C, maybe a little bit more open than we thought.
Yeah, I had a feeling that Sentinels was going to come out of the pool in first, but with games like this, it's going to be a competitive pool. There's a whole bunch of teams that could be in that second place spot. It's no longer just G2's spot in second place. I think it's up for grabs. NaVi playing incredible right now.
So what's the missing piece? Where have NaVi not been able to figure it out? Like, what needs to be done for NaVi to win this game number 4 and potentially send us into a game 5?
Sentinels just had that slaying power. And you know what? NaVi in a position where, honestly, their positioning can improve. And if they can improve that positioning and they can up the slay power, because we know zMightys, he's a free-for-all phenom. What comes with free-for-all? Individual skill. If he can catch fire and he can get hype like Wonderboy says he can, we've got a game on our hands. And you see it right there. Mighty and LethuL, the comparison, the damage difference, insane.
This is potentially the final game that you'll see in this series if Sentinels are able to come out on top. NaVi want to send us into a game 5, and I just want to see some good Halo.
Well, you know what, Tony? This is CTF Aquarius. Guess who's 5-0 in CTF Aquarius? It's gonna be Sentinels. It's gonna be Sentinels. These guys play this map perfectly, which means NaVi have a mountain to climb right now.
Only undefeated? Well, you know what? We got a Jimbo. I don't see Sentinels with a Jimbo, and I don't see Sentinels with a SnakeBite as of right now. Jimbo finds the kill that he was looking for, but ends up going down himself. Now LethuL and Sentinels going to surround this flag. This next round of Slay is so important. We see a perfect out of LethuL. If he's shooting like that, NaVi are in trouble.
World 2 had a great play there. He was able to get that flag and make sure to touch it. It was about to be returned. He gets the touch, and he's able to extend this flag towards his base. And what that's going to do is that's going to put a lot of pressure on NaVi to get that return.
SnakeBite coming into the bottom car side. RoyalTwo making plays like you said, but now SnakeBite wants to make some as well. Right for the return. There's 3 players around him. SnakeBite thought he had the opportunity, but didn't have the pressure or the numbers they were looking for. Sentinel's gonna have to restart and regain. Hold on.
A standoff, but RoyalTwo says, I don't want a standoff. Gets aggressive and gets that beautiful double. Flag still on both sides of the map, and I love LethuL's awareness to be able to back off that flag, to trust that he knows the positioning of the other team. But a push comes in, and the defense from NaVi very strong.
Me and my team, we call that pulling the goalie. If your flag carrier drops the flag, pushes up to apply pressure, then ducks back, obviously you got to make sure that flag doesn't get returned. We called it pulling the goalie like in hockey. LethuL able to do that to perfection. Doesn't time and time again, not just in flag, but in oddball as well. LethuL always making sure he is a presence on the map, and the same for RoyalTwo. RoyalTwo kills, RoyalTwo championships, and LethuL moving in and rotating the flag over to the spawning players.
What was my X factor for this game for NaVi? It was zMightys, and he's starting off really strong already, 5-3 to start. If he can continue this slave power and this momentum, potentially NaVi can take this and bring it to a game number 5. But the pushes from Sentinels are very strong. NaVi's got to stop this one.
P-side control being held by RoyalTwo. NaVi looking to get him out, but it's Frosty that comes in with the return, even clears out the slay. So now we're seeing the double back. LethuL has to use this wall for cover, able to slide in, and just like that, Sentinels find themselves up 1-0 in the game.
The NaVi and Sentinels both got 3 dead. It was a 1v1 situation, but Sentinels prioritized getting that return, which is going to be a cap for them on the board and a lead as well.
Jimbo, a couple nades go in, finally able to find that player he was looking for. Finds himself a dynamo grenade. That's not what he was looking for. Jimbo starting the flag early, not able to get out. Sentinel snipe him right off of spawn, and now the P-side control being controlled here by RoyalTwo. It's up to him to be a nuisance. It's up to him to slow down NaVi. Meanwhile, his teammates are spawning up.
The big thing I'm noticing as his teammates are spawning up is the fact that NaVi have not been able to pull the flag cleanly. Every time you see them pull a flag off of Sentinel's platform, they're always no shields. They're not able to get away without taking damage. And honestly, it comes down to the timing we talked about before.
Timing is key. Patience is not just a virtue, it is a weapon that Sentinels will use against you, as well as they do the BR SnakeBite with the patient play to back down, playing his life. 2-man push, bait and switch is gonna be king. SnakeBite takes down one, slicks him back, hits him with the Kobe fadeaway shot, gets the kill that he was looking for. Snakey trying to clear out, RoyalTwo connecting left and right. If you can't kill the man, you can't stop this flag. NaVi go 4 down, Sentinels are moving closer.
That was a very big kill by RoyalTwo. His teammates were 2 dead. He needed to get that kill so that they can continue this run. He did just that. Those are the kills that don't show up on that stat sheet that RoyalTwo is able to convert on.
Jimbo ends up going down here. LethuL taking height with the camouflage, trying to stay alive. He does have opponents left, right, and center, and LethuL only able to get away with the trade with that camo. Would have liked to see a bit more value out of that.
Right, camo is such an important power-up. You've got to make sure that you're able to utilize it to get the most value possible. Ideally, you want a flag cap, but unfortunately, that camo is null and void, no longer on the map.
SnakeBite moves in quick, able to just to touch the flag, but it's not going to be enough. Sentinels have to find a way to clear out this base. It looks like RoyalTwo gets himself an assist, gets right out of the action. That's why he's so hard to kill. The man's never in one place for so long.
Another cap. There it is. Sentinels up 2-0. When we talked about how dominant they are on CTF Aquarius, you're seeing it unfold right here. We've got a very strong lead to start, and this has got to be a strike to the momentum of NaVi.
NaVi find the 2 down that we're looking for. Able to push up, but something seems different about this NaVi squad. Going into this game number 4, I'm not feeling that energy. I'm not feeling that excitement. I'm not feeling that hype. They're looking a bit lethargic right now. Sentinels are literally controlling every pace, but we're starting to see some slays go in favor of NaVi. One thing that gets me hyped is seeing that 3 down, and that's what we saw. Kimbo even putting the sidekick to work. He's no longer the sidekick. He's the main character in this story.
He is the main character, but Sentinels are the Titan. They're the enemy that the main character has to destroy. And honestly, that flag in the middle of the map, once again, Frosty is there to put damage in. They cannot get a clean pull. That's what makes Sentinels so strong.
Kimbo moves in for the camouflage, able to steal it, but it's not safe just yet. Damage comes in drops down. He's trying to lose them. Meanwhile, the flag is moving forward. NaVi might have been able to use that camouflage, not for the kills, but for a distraction. That flag is going further and further here. zMightys clearing out the car side. Frosty now forced to back down. Inch by inch, Sentinels somehow find the blind side, able to get the return, and all that work that NaVi did have gone to nothing. The counter pull is in. SnakeBite already has that flag near home.
Comes down to the scrappiness of NaVi. They're trying to pull, flags in a scrappy fashion. And because of that, they're not able to get the flag even past the halfway portion of the map without just going 3 dead. They finally get it to their utility, but it's not going to be enough.
Sentinels have been controlling that 50% portion of the map literally all game. And now Frosty able to cross the line. You're no longer in NaVi territory. You're in championship territory right now as Sentinels are about to go up 4-0. NaVi, welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome to the big leagues. There's levels to this. NaVi now looking as strong, but I have to say, it's got to point to Sentinels. This is a very strong map for them. They're undefeated for a reason. And they're showing it right here, a 4-0 lead so far, and they're getting the slays necessary to make that 5-0.
4 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock for NaVi to cap 4 flags, not to win the game, Tim, to tie the game up.
Right.
And as of right now, 4-2 and Sentinels are running a flag train on you. Just moving forward here. It's only so much you can do when that pressure is coming in, when Sentinels are getting the slays whenever they want, when they're pulling the flag literally at will. Sentinels look way too comfortable here. I guess that's why they're 5-0.
Yeah, it just comes down to positioning, right? Sentinels are always in a position to assist the flag carrier, to relay with him as well. And they've gotten, they haven't gotten all the camos, which in NaVi's position, NaVi should be able to grab those camos and utilize them. But Sentinels looking to be the stronger CTF Aquarius team.
With strength comes comfort. With comfort comes confidence. And with confidence comes championships. World 2 gets himself that camouflage quick, holding on to the P side. Nobody from NaVi even knows where he's at, so that's 3 shots onto Jimbo, makes his presence known just a bit. Sentinels are still working on the return. They're able to throw that flag off is NaVi, but they go 3 down. That return's about to come. You have 1 more player. The final line of defense is Snakey, who finds himself the kill. The return is in. Sentinels are within striking distance of capping that flag forward here. The flag gets picked up. Frosty punches it home, and Sentinels are moving forward.
Sentinels, 3-1 in the series. NaVi, a lot of pressure there. I talked to Wonderboy, and he said they scrimmed a lot of top teams, but the games were very close. The score line in the series might not have shown it, but in the games, very close. And we saw it right there as well. Very close games. NaVi shows potential, but you've got Sentinels who capitalize on every mistake, and they did that again in the series.
NaVi might be very close to figuring it out, but Sentinels are very close to winning another LAN as they 3-1 NaVi. And I love NaVi. I really do. I loved every moment of that series from them. I think they fought well. I think they stayed within it. Sentinels are your champions for a reason. Your reigning champions. There's a reason why they're putting themselves in position to go back-to-back, just like Cloud9 did earlier. There's levels to this, and Sentinels are at the top.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the series layout here. My 3-0 prediction was false. As you can clearly see, NaVi come out with that very first game, but
They'll be punished.
Look how close the games were after that. 50-42, a 2-1 in Oddball. But of course, that Aquarius, the 4-0, not as close as we would have liked. But NaVi, they look really strong.